Jacob had 12 sons. He loved them all, but he loved his son Joseph best. Joseph liked to tell his brothers about his dreams. In one dream, he saw all 12 brothers had bundles of wheat. Then he said 11 bundles bowed down to his bundle. Ooh, that made the older brothers mad.
You're not the king over us.
When Joseph turned 17, Jacob gave him a beautiful coat with long sleeves. This also made Joseph's brothers jealous. One spring, Jacob asked Joseph to go check on his older brothers and their cattle. So off Joseph went. His brothers saw him coming.
Here comes the dreamer. Let's get rid of him.
The brothers hated Joseph, but one of them felt bad.
Let's not hurt him. Let's just throw him down this well.
He planned to rescue Joseph later, so they took off Joseph's coat and threw him in. About that time, some men on camels rode by.
Hey, let's sell him to be a slave.
So they sold their own brother. But alone, God was watching over him. Soon, a rich man named Potiphar bought him to work in his palace.
Promises to be years of good service.
Joseph did a good job in everything Potiphar asked him to do.
Joseph, come here.
Potiphar was pleased.
How can I help you?
Joseph, I'm putting you in charge of my whole house.
Everyone had to do everything Joseph said.
Things were going great for Joseph.
Right over there.
Until one day, Potiphar's wife tried to trick him. When her tricks didn't work, she told lies about Joseph. And Potiphar believed her.
God!
Potiphar threw Joseph into jail. Poor Joseph. His brothers sold him. A lady lied about him, and he was thrown into jail. It wasn't fair. But God had a plan for Joseph.
I dreamed I saw a vine.
One day, another prisoner told Joseph about a dream he'd had. Joseph listened carefully, and God showed him what the man's dream meant.
In 3 days, you will be working for the king of Egypt, like you did before being put in prison.
Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Another prisoner dreamed he had 3 baskets of bread that he had baked for the king. In his dream, the birds kept eating up all the bread. Joseph didn't have very good news about the dream.
In 3 days, you will die.
Joseph told the truth. The man did die. One night, the king of Egypt dreamed that 7 skinny cows came from the river and ate up 7 fat cows. No one could figure out what the dream meant,
Your Highness, call for Joseph.
said the first man who had told Joseph his dream in prison. And God showed Joseph what the king's dream meant.
There will be 7 years with lots of food,
Here! Here!
followed by 7 years with almost no food.
The king knew that Joseph was right.
Joseph had been in jail, but he was innocent. So the king of Egypt let him out. The king also put Joseph in charge of gathering enough food to feed everyone during the hungry time. The king took off his royal ring and put it on Joseph's finger. He gave Joseph fine clothes to wear and put a gold chain around his neck. The king had Joseph ride in one of the royal chariots. And everyone had to bow down to him. For the next 7 years, Joseph stored lots of food. Then a time came when no rain fell and no crops could be grown. This is called a famine. It was bad for other lands, but thanks to Joseph, the people of Egypt had food. Joseph's family back home were very hungry. His father, Jacob, told his sons,
Go to Egypt and buy grain.
so 10 brothers packed up and went to Egypt. The youngest brother, Benjamin, stayed home. When the brothers came to the palace, Joseph knew right away who they were, but they didn't recognize their own brother, who they had sold as a slave many years ago.
You're all spies.
Joseph said to test them. They were shocked.
No, we've come to buy food.
They
We haven't
told
come for
Joseph
any other
all
reasons.
about their
We
family.
haven't come here because we're spies.
Joseph still loved his brothers, so he gave them the food. The famine was long and had spread to every country. Soon, Jacob and his 10 sons needed more food. So the sons went back to Egypt, this time bringing young Benjamin with them. Joseph told his servants to prepare a feast for the men, who he secretly knew were his own brothers. When Joseph came to the feast, all the brothers bowed down to him. Oh my! It reminded Joseph of his childhood dream about his brothers' bundles of wheat bowing down to his. And then Joseph saw Benjamin. This made him so happy, he began to cry. But he didn't let anyone see his tears. Joseph gave the brothers the grain they wanted. But he also tricked them. He put his royal cup in Benjamin's sack. The rule was that whoever took something from the ruler had to be his servant forever. When the cup was discovered, Benjamin couldn't go home. The brothers begged Joseph not to keep Benjamin.
It will break our father's heart to lose 2 sons.
Hearing this almost broke Joseph's heart. He saw that his brothers had really changed. Joseph couldn't keep his secret another minute. He sent all the Egyptians out of the room. But after they left, all he could do was cry. Jacob's sons were very frightened. They didn't know why this man was crying. Finally, Joseph was able to speak.
I am your brother Joseph. You sold me to be a slave, but God sent me here to Egypt to save your lives.
His brothers didn't know what to say.
Is my father Jacob still alive? Hurry, go home and get our father and your families and bring them all here.
After they had all cried and hugged each other, the brothers did as Joseph commanded. And that's how God's people, the Israelites, came to live in Egypt.